Hey guys, tonight we're diving into a world few dare to explore, the secret lives of the samurai, not just as fierce warriors, but as lovers, strategists, and masters of intimate deception. Imagine a world where every whisper in the dark, every touch, every stolen moment in bed could change the fate of kingdoms. How did these legendary warriors balance their unyielding code of honor with the messy, powerful tides of desire and betrayal? Tonight, I'll take you deep into that hidden realm, where love was a battlefield as deadly and intricate as any war, where enemies sometimes shared a pillow, and where intimacy was weaponized in ways you'd never expect. So, get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's unravel the captivating, shadowy story of how samurai slept with their lovers and their enemies in a world ruled by discipline and death. Samurai faced an extraordinary contradiction. To survive, they had to suppress vulnerability, yet, to live fully, they craved connection. Their nights were never simply about rest. They were moments of calculated risk, where a lover's touch might bring comfort or danger, where the line between ally and enemy blurred beneath the moonlight. Samurai's private chambers became a stage for silent war's intimacy, woven tightly with power and strategy. Their relationships reflected the turbulent times, from arranged marriages designed to secure alliances, to secret romances filled with passion and peril. Imagine a samurai preparing for battle by day, practicing lethal sword techniques, and then, by night, navigating the delicate dance of affection with his wife or a trusted apprentice. These moments were fragile, precious, and often fatal. Their code demanded sincerity and honor in combat, but in love, deception was as common as the moon's phases. The Bushido Code was the foundation of samurai life, a strict set of principles that demanded loyalty, courage, and self-discipline. But it also demanded restraint in emotions, forbidding indulgence and weakness. This duality was a constant struggle. A samurai was expected to keep his heart steady, his desires controlled. Yet, deep inside, many wrestled with forbidden passions and secret loves. The tension between duty and desire often played out in quiet, hidden moments, a whispered conversation in the dark, a fleeting glance, a hand pressed gently on a sleeve. The samurai's emotional world was layered with paradox. They could compose delicate poetry extolling beauty and love, while preparing to strike down their enemies without hesitation. In this delicate balance, the samurai perfected the art of emotional disguise. To reveal too much could be fatal, yet to live without connection was a slow death of the spirit. One of the most intimate and complex aspects of samurai life was Shudo, a tradition of mentorship and emotional connection between older samurai and adolescent boys. This relationship was structured, socially accepted, and deeply tied to loyalty and discipline. Through Shudo, a young apprentice learned the ways of the warrior, not just in combat, but in the code of honor, etiquette, and emotional resilience. But these bonds were not merely instructional. They often carried intense affection, and sometimes romantic or sexual elements. This closeness forged unbreakable ties of trust and loyalty that could last a lifetime. Yet, Shudo was also a delicate dance of power and vulnerability, with the potential for exploitation and pain. Understanding this tradition challenges modern ideas of relationships and forces us to see the samurai as fully human. Grappling with the complexities of connection in their world, women in samurai society were far from passive. Wives, concubines, courtesans, and geisha held critical roles in the emotional and political arenas of the time. Courtesans and geisha were not simply entertainers. They were skilled in the arts of conversation, music, and seduction, wielding influence in subtle yet powerful ways. They could sway decisions, gather intelligence, and serve as trusted confidants to samurai and daimyo alike. Beyond the obvious, the era saw a fascinating fluidity in gender roles. Anagata, male actors playing female roles in theater, and spies who disguised themselves as women. This blurred the lines between performance, identity, and survival, revealing a world where deception and intimacy intertwined in unexpected ways. Samurai swordsmanship wasn't just about strength or technique. It was deeply connected to an awareness of the body and mind. Some training involved moves that mirrored the close contact and shifting grip of intimate moments, a style sometimes called the pillow blade. This form of combat taught samurai to fight in tight quarters, where every movement could mean life or death. It was almost sensual in its precision, requiring control, sensitivity, and deep understanding of the opponent's body. Much like a lover reading subtle signals, this connection between intimacy and violence reveals how samurai life was never simply about battle, but about mastering self-control and awareness in every aspect. In the volatile world of samurai politics, relationships were rarely straightforward. Seduction and espionage blended into a powerful tool called pillow diplomacy. Spies disguised as lovers, secret messages whispered under the sheets. Alliances forged or broken in the shadows of the night, all were part of the strategic game. Trust was fragile, and betrayal could come from the closest of partners. Samurai knew that the bedroom was as much a battlefield as any warfront, where loyalty was tested, secrets were bartered, and lives could be saved or destroyed by a single whispered word. Despite the strict code and the constant danger, samurai experienced deep love, fierce loyalty, and profound grief. Many carried secret regrets and unspoken confessions. Letters hidden away, promises broken or kept in silence. The samurai mourned not with loud lamentations, but with quiet presence and ritual. Some believed that the spirits of lost loved ones lingered near, haunting their memories and shaping their fate. This connection between the living and the dead added a layer of mystery and melancholy to the samurai's life, a reminder that beneath their hardened exterior lay fragile hearts and haunted souls. Hey guys, as we settle deeper into the night, imagine the samurai's bedroom, a place far from the clang of swords and war cries, yet no less intense or dangerous. This was a room of contradictions, calm on the surface, yet beneath, a battlefield of whispered secrets, coded glances, and careful maneuvers. Every gesture held meaning. Every silence was heavy with unspoken words. The samurai's chamber was a carefully controlled environment. Light was dim, the air scented with incense to soothe nerves. Curtains might be drawn tight to block out prying eyes. Yet even within these walls, trust was never absolute. Lovers, wives, apprentices, and even spies shared this space. The night was a time for rest, but also for strategy. A wrong word or a careless touch could unravel years of loyalty or spark deadly suspicion. Imagine the samurai lying awake, listening for footsteps, feeling the brush of a hand, balancing the desire for connection with the need for vigilance. For samurai, seduction was never mere indulgence. It was a refined art, a subtle play of power, persuasion, and survival. Courtesans and geisha were masters of this delicate dance. They knew how to charm and disarm, to open hearts and minds, and to listen closely for secrets hidden between words. Samurai learned from them, adopting these skills to navigate their own relationships. Seduction was a tool, a weapon as sharp as any blade. It could win alliances, secure loyalty, or betray an enemy from within. But behind the artifice, genuine emotions often blossomed. Moments of tenderness and longing were real, fleeting refuges from the harsh realities of war and duty. Despite the risks, many samurai dared to love beyond the strict confines of their social roles. Some formed secret relationships with servants, spies, or even enemies, bonds born of desperation, rebellion, or quiet yearning. These liaisons could bring joy, but also peril. A forbidden love could mean disgrace or death if discovered. Yet, it also offered the rare chance to be truly seen, to find warmth in a cold world. Picture a samurai stealing away into the night, heart pounding, to meet a hidden lover, knowing each encounter might be the last. These stolen moments carried the weight of hope and fear intertwined. Samurai were taught to show strength in all things, including grief. Mourning was a quiet, private affair. Asterisk, when a loved one died, the samurai often retreated into stillness, carrying their sorrow like a secret burden. They might compose poetry or rituals to honor the dead, but public displays of emotion were discouraged. The ideal was to bear loss with dignity and restraint, yet, beneath the stoic mask, grief ran deep, a river of pain and memory that shaped their lives and decisions. As we near the end of this part of our journey, reflect on the legacy samurai left behind, not just in battles won or lost, but in the quiet corners of their hearts. Their lives were filled with love letters never sent, promises never spoken aloud, and memories that haunted their waking hours. Theirs was a world where love was both a refuge and a risk, where loyalty and betrayal walked hand in hand, and where the past lingered like a ghost beside every sleeping warrior. Asterisk. Hey guys, as the night deepens, let's explore one of the most mysterious and thrilling aspects of samurai intimacy: the spy who hides behind a lover's smile. In the treacherous world of feudal Japan, trust was a rare and fragile thing. Samurai often found themselves entwined in webs of deception, where a lover's touch could conceal secrets and hidden agendas. Spies, disguised as courtesans, wives, or servants, were masters of blending affection with espionage. Their role was dangerous. They gathered whispered conversations, stolen plans, and the softest confessions, all while maintaining the facade of devotion. Imagine the tension in those stolen moments. A whispered code, a secret glance, a subtle signal only the trained eye could detect. Each encounter was a dance on a razor's edge, where one misstep could mean death. The samurai had to be as skilled at reading people as they were at wielding their swords, always alert to the possibility that love itself could be a trap. Geisha, often misunderstood in the West, were highly respected artists and companions. Their influence stretched far beyond entertainment. They were keepers of secrets and subtle wielders of power. Trained in music, poetry, and conversation, geisha captivated samurai with their grace and intelligence. They were confidants, advisors, and sometimes political agents. Their presence was both comforting and commanding, a reminder that influence did not always come from the sword. Close your eyes and imagine a geisha's delicate fan hiding a knowing smile, her eyes reflecting both empathy and calculation as she guides a restless samurai through the complexities of his heart and his world. After the tangled emotions and secret meetings of the night, dawn brought a different kind of ritual. The samurai's mornings were a time of reflection and preparation. He rose with the weight of his secrets and desires, ready to face the harsh light of day. Morning rituals involved cleansing, meditation, and sometimes writing poetry, a moment to center oneself before the demands of duty and battle. Imagine the samurai standing quietly as the sun rises, the soft breeze carrying away the night's shadows, yet leaving the memory of whispered promises and hidden dangers etched deep in his soul. To be a samurai was to master both sword and self. Their training was as much about controlling emotions as about perfecting technique. The pillow blade, style of close-quarters combat, inspired by intimate physicality, required acute awareness of both body and mind. This mastery allowed the samurai to move seamlessly between tenderness and ruthlessness, love and violence, vulnerability and power. Feel the calm focus of the samurai as he practices his art. Every movement deliberate, every breath measured, a dance that balances life and death, passion and discipline. Throughout history, many samurai expressed their deepest feelings in secret letters, hidden away from prying eyes. These forbidden correspondences were sometimes the only outlet for emotions that could never be spoken aloud. Picture a trembling hand, sealing a delicate letter. Words of longing, regret, and hope penned in silence. These letters carried the voices of hearts beating against the rigid constraints of their world, echoes of love, despair, and the human need to be understood. In samurai culture, the dead were never truly gone. Spirits of lost loved ones were believed to linger, watching over or haunting the living. Ghost stories and rituals reflected the deep emotional bonds that transcended death. The samurai's heart was often heavy with memories, a silent conversation with those who had passed, their presence felt in the quiet moments before sleep. Imagine the soft rustle of a kimono in an empty room, a whisper carried on the night breeze, a light that flickers and fades, the eternal connection between past and present. As you drift deeper into sleep, let these stories of love, honor, and shadowy intrigue settle gently around you. The samurai's world, with all its beauty and complexity, invites you to rest in its quiet mystery. Hey guys, tonight we continue to unravel the samurai's world, where loyalty was a silent vow, spoken not in grand declarations, but in quiet acts and unseen sacrifices. The samurai's relationships were often built on unspoken understandings, bonds forged through shared hardship and mutual trust. Sometimes, words could betray what the heart wished to keep sacred. Imagine a samurai standing in the moonlight, his gaze steady as he promises allegiance not with his voice, but with his unwavering presence. These silent vows shaped destinies, anchored alliances, and sometimes tore lives apart. Love and power were tightly entwined in the samurai's life. Relationships were rarely just about emotion. They were strategic moves in a complex game of influence and survival. A lover might be a trusted advisor, a political asset, or a spy. The line between affection and manipulation blurred as each samurai navigated these delicate waters. Imagine the careful steps of this dance, where every smile, every touch, held meaning beyond the surface. A glance could build trust or sow suspicion. A kiss could seal a pact or conceal a betrayal. Even warriors carry wounds that swords cannot heal. Forgiveness, both given and sought, was an important but often hidden part of the samurai's emotional landscape. To forgive was to find peace amid chaos, to release the burden of resentment, and to open the door to healing. Picture a samurai quietly forgiving a past betrayal, the tension in his body softening as he breathes out the pain, embracing a fragile hope for renewal. Many samurai found solace in secret gardens, hidden places where nature's calmness offered refuge from the demands of duty and conflict. Under the soft glow of the moon, lovers met, promises were whispered, and hearts found brief sanctuary. Imagine walking slowly through a garden filled with fragrant blossoms and the gentle rustle of leaves, the night air cool and still, carrying the scent of cherry blossoms and jasmine. This garden was a silent witness to countless stories of passion, loss, and quiet joy. The samurai's intimate world may be distant now, but its echoes still resonate. Their struggles with love, honor, desire, and loyalty are timeless reflections of the human experience itself. As you rest tonight, imagine carrying forward the wisdom of these ancient warriors, the strength to face hardship, the courage to love deeply, and the grace to hold both in balance. As we draw this chapter to a close, let the samurai's story lull you into peaceful rest. Beneath the armor, behind the code, beats a heart that knows both battle and tenderness. May your dreams be calm and deep, carried gently on the wings of honor and love. Good night, and sleep well. Though often overshadowed by tales of warriors and battles, samurai wives played crucial roles behind the scenes. They managed households, raised heirs, and navigated the delicate politics of the samurai world with grace and intelligence. Their love was often steady and enduring, a silent force that supported their husbands through the chaos of war and duty. Imagine the calm presence of a wife lighting a lantern in the evening, her eyes reflecting both warmth and the weight of responsibility. The samurai family was a complex web of relationships, not only between husband and wife, but extending to apprentices and retainers, who often became like children or trusted confidants. Affection and loyalty grew in these bonds, sometimes crossing into realms of deep emotional connection and mentorship. Picture a young apprentice learning the art of swordsmanship, sitting quietly beside his master, absorbing lessons, not only of combat, but of honor and life. Touch was a powerful language among samurai and their lovers. A brush of fingers, a firm grip, or a gentle caress could convey emotions words could not express. These subtle signals were understood deeply, gestures of comfort, warning, or invitation that spoke volumes in silence. Imagine a moment shared between two samurai fingers briefly entwined, a connection formed that needed no explanation. After nights filled with tension and secrets, samurai sought moments of peace to restore their balance. Meditation, quiet walks, or simple breathing exercises helped them return to themselves, grounding their restless hearts and minds. Picture a samurai sitting beneath a towering pine tree, eyes closed, breath slow and steady, the weight of the world lifting gently with each exhale. The samurai's life was an eternal dance between the forces of life and death. Every moment held the potential for great joy or sudden loss. Their relationships, like their battles, required courage, discipline, and acceptance of uncertainty as you drift deeper into sleep. Feel the rhythm of this dance, steady, calm, and eternal, guiding you softly into dreams where honor and love intertwine. Remember, beneath the armor, behind the sword, lived hearts full of passion, fear, hope, and longing. The samurai were warriors, yes, but also deeply human, navigating a world as complex and fragile as our own. Let their story remind you of your own strength and vulnerability, and may it bring you comfort tonight. Good night, and sleep peacefully.